Bing ding dong dong, bing ding dong dong, ding 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 dong. Oh hey, always forgetting something. And this week I forgot to move the window so I could see when Pat is talking. Also, maybe move the microphone where it should go. Right? This nonsense. Switch over to notes. Oh no. Space Goonie just subscribed. It's not a bribe, it's just a subscribe. Give me your prime money, and I'll spend it on toys and try to make something funny. Then inexplicably, unexpectedly rhymed. Oh, I see how it is. Real money coming at your face from Space Goonie and Pat Prue's place. Taking their chicken burgers and keep them for myself. Meow. Wrong camera. Hey. All right. Somehow I got unadjusted while melting into a chair. Okay, ice pack on my back. Fan right there. I don't know what else I could be forgetting. This feels too bright in my face. More reasonable. Alright, let's move this. Ice pack and the Pokemon goes. Keeping you cool when you're making animals fight. So yeah, I didn't think of a new comic strip for this week. So we'll finish cleaning up the one from last week. And I'm too high in the frame. Camera has to move. But if I do, it doesn't move easy. Alright, see if I can gently tilt slightly. And a little better. Alright. So, nobody cares. Nobody cares about camera placement anywhere, anytime, any day. I think that's the meaning of a thong in some way, but I don't know that thong. I crashed my car into a bridge, and I don't care. I love it. Is that a thing? It's a thing, but not what you're thinking of. Hey, Miles! What it do when you're traveling miles? What it do making you smiles? Alright, I guess I don't have a problem with talking that much, although... really do feel like I'm going crazy, mouth-wise, but we'll get into that. I went to the dentist, had a good time, asked the lady at the counter, Wendy, hey Wendy, why is it that you guys act like I'm the best, whoa. Stop. I'm the best dental patient? Because that's like not a thing. Nobody's good at being a dental patient, but you guys keep talking about how good I am at being a dental patient. Please explain. And then she did. And all that, and a bunch of other nonsense of the world coming up right after the intros. Since when do we start a show like that? Like, not in a million years, not ever? That's insane. Are you Pat Sajak now? That is not at all a Pat Sajak-y thing to do. And what a reference. Does he even still host that show? I don't know, and I don't care. All I know is that, I'm making sure that I derail the opening, so it is still about me. Ripley, play the intro to my show. Alright, calm down, Lauren Michaels. Calm down. Can't find the intro button. Ripley! There you are. Press the intro button, sweetest angel. Do it. Press the button too soon. Too warm. All dexterity is lost. So yeah. Last week, Daily Chipmunks. Oh my god, all the subscriptions coming from that house. Um, yeah, last week I had 2 days off of work, and I was real excited to do all of the things on my list of things to do, mostly that relate to the live streaming and whatnot, merch making, art creativity, stop motioning, action figure manipulation, puppets, Milo animation. So many things on the list. So many things. And when I went to the dentist first thing in the morning on my first day of the 2 days off, and just like the last time, went super quick, super easy. Um, uh, uh, Dr. Peter is the best, like the best. I've never looked forward to going to the dentist ever in my life. Hey, Nico 5953. Nico 5953. Got that number. Got that number on my wall. My Twitch chat wall. Um, but yeah, everybody there is just the nicest people ever. From the front desk all the way back to people jamming stuff and torturing you, mouth wise. They're still just super nice. And the dentist seems to be somewhat fascinated by the things that I do. His wife does art as well. Um, so I don't know. It's fun to have weird conversations with people. But yeah, before I went out to the place where they take all your money for torturing you, where Wendy was like, now it's the time where we have to make you pay for your own torture. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's fine. Um, Even though he definitely had other people to get to, I was still like, uh, no, but seriously, like you're going on like, hey, I make art and I do this stuff and that's so interesting and whatever. And you know, your job is a pretty big deal. It's a big undertaking to become a dentist. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. You're not just like, hey, I signed up to be a dentist. And you know, I've been drawing things since I was like 4 years old, 5 years old. Um, you know, not like well or anything, but just, you know, stick man, but definitely being like, this is, I want to do more of this. Give me more paper, mother. Why is there no more paper? Why don't we have any art supplies ever? That's fine. Someday I'll move out and I'll just buy a pile of art supplies and we'll have a whole art shelf full of art supplies and He-Man figures. Um, so just like, yeah, so, you know, that's a thing. It was like, even though there are days, weeks, months in the life of doing art jobs where you're just like, this is stupid. What do people even want from me? Ugh, am I the worst? This is crazy. But regardless of that, there's still like the great days of like, wow, I'm the greatest ever, and everybody loves me, and I feel good about the things that I do, etc. Definitely doing this with too thick of a brush. It's too late. It's too late. Past the point of no return. But at the end of every one of those days, good, bad, or in between, I don't get somebody else's blood on me. I don't have people biting down on me. I don't have people getting mad at me because they came in and asked me to jam a bunch of sharp stuff in their mouth. But mostly the gross part, you know? Like, this is super gross. Like even the least disgusting dental procedure is still disgusting, no matter what. Like, before I went, I was super hungry, but normally before anything I do, hey, Rixty, holy snaps. It's been a while since Ricky's been around, but there he is, watching my Instagram when I'm playing with toys. Um, But yeah, no matter what, it's like your day is always gonna be gross. Like always. Only the people at the counter get to be like, I collect the money and I don't have to put you know, my fingers have people spitting on me, any of that stuff. Like even just the initial part of like, hey, it's COVID times, so take this little bit of Javex and swish it around in your mouth for a minute, and then spit it in this cup. Rick's T, subscribing to me. He's your hero. The most heroic there can be. It's the weakest rhymes ever. But he was like, "Oh yeah, actually, it's fairly interesting. I'm much like yourself. Just super, just like fun to just listen to him talk. He just sounds like so smart. He's got like a lab coat on and a big visor thing, and just crazy glasses with like extra things on them, like a Johnny Depp in a Sleepy Hollow. So everything sounds even more scientific and expertise filled. Um, But again, also, I don't know. I've never talked to a dentist where I wasn't just like, get me out of here. I hate you. I hate your job. I hate what you're doing. And you're clearly just trying to get my money. And there's not even anything wrong with me right now. And we just proved that. And it cost me $80. And you knew it beforehand. And I hate you. And so after a series of, hating dentists for years and years and years, um, and of course, like my first dentist as a kid, just constantly being asked, like, hey, did anything funny happen in there? Like, nothing molesty? Why do you keep asking that? Because of all the rumors of how this dentist is a child molester? Like, oh, well, then we should go somewhere else. Different times. Different times. Different times. So, I don't know. I gave him a postcard. He was asking because he was just like, "Hey, like, oh yeah, yeah, like, I'd love to like basically like share your stuff with my wife, like, and all this stuff." He's like, "You said you have like a YouTube and this." I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I was like, "I just had some postcards printed up. Like, here's a stack of them. Go nuts!" Like, all the information's there, the website, whatever. So, perhaps, hi Peter and his wife. Maybe they're hunkered down on the couch on a Tuesday evening to watch me talk nonsense to the people of the internet. And B, and also B, but mostly B. Don't you want to talk some nonsense to me? I'm right here. I'm ready. Bring me some of that sweet, sweet nonsense. I don't. You're more of a chime in. I guess I don't actually, say things to you that often. Maybe I should do that more. Maybe you should definitely do that more. I mean, seriously. I'm right here. I'm a face that you can talk at. Yeah, it's a little disconcerting when you look to the left and you just see your water bottle, then you start talking about it, and then you feel crazy. But other than that, it's a good time. It's a good time for me. It's a good time. If Amanda's watching with the kids, they can enjoy this part. They're like, we don't even care that he's just talking about the horrors of the world. He's an adorable cat. Look at how adorable I am. So, um, within this interaction of me, him asking about more what I do, and me just being like, you should quit this job and do something less gross. Hey, you've been a dentist for how many years and or decades? This is wicked gross, dog. You should stop doing this. And I don't know. I write poetry books. Nobody really buys them, but you can go to mrcartoons.com. All the links are at the Instagram as well, at Mr. Cartoons. Subscribe to all the things. There's a bunch of books. There's comic strips. And usually on the weekends, at least, I'll play with my action figures and stop motion them. Hey, laser sharks. Um, but anyway, just basically like, no, but seriously, it's gross. And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, no. It's like I can't handle blood or gross things either. It's disgusting. Well, then you're a liar. You're lying about something. Then either you're not really a dentist, or you love blood, like you love this. Like I already have this thing, like the last person where I was like, hey, can you check this out? And it was like, well, I'm a surgeon and I'm pretty sure it's nothing. Like, okay, well, honestly, you convinced me. It's just a salivary gland thing. Convinced. You don't need to cut me open and check anything out. Like, but since we're here, and just the happiest this guy has ever been in his life, I'm just like, you were having the greatest time cutting me open. And then when I went to see him later, like, so what was up with that? Like, was it anything bad, anything good? Like, yeah, no, nothing. Just like I said it was. Just your salivary gland is just crazy. Do you drink a lot of citrus? Like, live on citrus. That's why then. And just fully uninterested because, well, there's no reason to cut anything anymore, and he's just dead inside. Like, oh, you're a Dexter. You're a Dexter, but instead of out murdering bad guys, you're just waiting for people to come to you saying, cut me. Come on, cut me. Oh, Mickey. Cut me. So, this guy doesn't come across like that. He's just like, seems like, what are you doing here? You're definitely not like into cutting people open. What is your weirdness that makes you want to be a dentist? Because most of the dentists that I've come across that I didn't like, they were okay with being a dentist clearly for the money. Like, that's definitely what it was just like, you should see my boat. Like, okay, no more no more explanation required. I get it. People love boats. And the best way to get to having a boat is having a wicked, disgusting job. But exactly, like, everybody seems like the Little Shop of Horrors dentist. I cannot remember, for the life of me, what the movie Novocaine was about, other than I think I mostly watched it just because I saw a bit of the trailer, and like the main song seemed to be Novocaine for the Soul by the Eels, and they're just like one of my favorite bands in the world. And that is like the best, the best song. Their best song is Novocaine for the Soul. I love it. Fun video, and definitely not necessarily a fun song, but it's a good sad-ish semi-upbeat song. But I think Novocaine was about Steve Martin as a dentist who was a bad guy, or perhaps taking revenge on people while there was something nefarious. I'm pretty sure I remember enjoying the movie, and/or it was messed up. But I'm pretty sure it was like somewhat of a psychological thriller-ish thing. Might have thought it was going to be a comedy going into it, and was like, oh, this isn't going to get funny. This is going to get more serious and more weird. But then, yeah, I'm pretty sure there was at least 2 or 3 more Eels songs within the movie, and that's why I think I love it. Same with the Shrek movies. They're not good. They're not good rewatchable movies. Like, the first one I think is probably still fun, because, it was kind of the first time people were making all of those references, and now every movie is Shrek 1. So Shrek 1 seems stupid now. But I loved Shrek 1 when it came out, not only because it was like, hey, this is new and different. We haven't seen anything like this before. And that soundtrack was just like, hey, do you like the Eels? They're going to be in every single Shrek soundtrack ever. Well, then I'm going to keep watching these movies just to see which Shrek song ends up in there. And always a highlight. Always a highlight. So yeah, he said, the real life dentist, that no, like, I was just, I was super into math. Like, math was my jam. He did not talk like that. I doubt he's ever said anything is his jam. Maybe a song. But yeah, he's just like, I got into like kind of medical-y type stuff. It was like, no, this isn't for me. It's too gross. I just want to do math. And then somehow, like, I think somebody came in with a file, and he was like, all right, cool. Like, yep, I'll be in there to hurt that person in a minute. Let me just keep talking to Curtis, because he's my favorite, and he's such a good patient. And then there was a mild yada yada where that's a math with an A. Where it was like, yeah, like, I just loved math so much, and just, sciencey type stuff, that it just kept coming back around to, like, dentistry. Like, I feel like it was even like one of those, like, hey, why do you do stand-up comedy? Like, well, my friend kind of dragged me there, and I ended up doing it. I feel like he was like, oh, like my friends were really into it, so I just kind of became a dentist too, but mostly just for the math. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that makes sense. That makes sense. Mostly just thinking like, is my face bleeding under this mask now? Am I bleeding from my mouth? Feels like I'm probably like just dripping blood. I'm not, but you know, every time I go for something, I'm just like, I spend the rest of the day like, am I covered in blood now? Probably just dripping all kinds of blood. So my attention was somewhat elsewhere as well, or focused right here, in my face. But yeah, it wasn't until like halfway down the street where I'm just like, I'm only like, 15 buildings away from the dentist office, and I'm just like, there's a billion other ways to do math in the world that doesn't involve going inside somebody's mouth. Like there's just so many, like just so many. One of them I think is just math. Like just as what do you do? I'm a mathematician. I just do math. Are you watching, Peter? Quit being a dentist and go do math, but don't because I don't want another dentist ever again. I'm gonna haunt you forever because they're all the rest of them are the worst. But yeah, there's so many. There's so even just like weird, gross sciencey type stuff. Like you still usually do that from behind a glass with like crazy gloves or like robot arms or simulations. But no, you're just gonna dig around in somebody's face and and again, just like I say every week, that's fine. Whatever your thing is, like my thing as a whole, just list a slew, an onslaught, if you will, of a bunch of dumb things. My actual job is making dumb stream accessories for people that are, stream famous, that are also just regular famous. I was about to say I'm working on some stuff for a band, but if they don't use my stuff, I don't be like, "Hey, I did this stuff for a band." Like, "Oh, hey, I saw your stuff." No, that wasn't mine. They just went and hired somebody else to do it. But a bunch of awesome people who I'm a fan of or I'm a fan of now. I get to make their random stream arts, and then at the end of the day, if it's not sweltering hot like it is, I'll take some action figures and I'll stop motion them for fun. Do I do a great job stop motioning them? No. It's pretty half-assed and willy-nilly. I'm just trying to have fun with it. It's technically a stress reducer, except for the fact that it usually ends up taking me 2.5 hours to 2 days to set it up to just do a really cheap, quick stop motion animation. But again, like I said, like that's feeding the little Curtis, feeding the inner child. Which is something I think everybody needs to figure out what that is. Like whether it is a craft or just I don't know, banging away on a drum, baking stuff, inventing things. I don't know, whatever that is. We all have that thing that we're like during our day job when we're hanging out with other people and it crosses your mind. We're like, oh, it'd be awesome if I could do blank. And we need to make sure to crystallize those things and instill them into our lives. What does that mean? Crystallize them and instill them into our lives. Those words, you think long and hard about those? Because I don't think those go together the way you think those go together. I mean, they kind of do. Crystallize meaning like solidify them forever. I don't know anything about crystals, but I don't know. Jack that into your matrix. Whatever. Okay, even more Crobulent reference. Jacking into matrixes. There's another one coming. There's another matrix coming. They will never end. The hits start coming and they don't stop coming. You head to the roof and you hit the ground running. It didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your head gets old, but your brain gets young? I don't know. So much to do, so much to see. What's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't show. You never shine if you don't glow? Hey now, you're an all-star. Get the game on. Go. Play. All that glitters. Patrick. We've done this before. I remember specifically switching the camera to say Patrick. All that glitters. Gold. Only shooting stars. Only shooting stars. Reach the goal. I don't remember all the words. Oh, it's a cool place. They say it's getting colder, but the Meteor Man begs to differ. Judging by the hole in the satellite picture, the ice we skate? Well, oh my god, it's getting pretty thin. Yeah, my world's on fire. How about yours? That's the way I like it, so I'll never get bored. Oh, I don't like the world being on fire. All that to say. More stuff about the dentist visit. Okay, cool, yeah. Tell us your 9-hour adventure at the dentist that I'm pretty sure was like 25 minutes long. What I do. It's my gift, it's my curse. Hey, Ripley. Just want to cut to yourself for a second? That's great. You're adorable. No, thank you. So finally, after Dr. Peter tells me his origin story of I just wanted to do math. And I'm going to add I just wanted to do math and meet interesting Kurtai. That's plural. Excuse me. That's the plural of Curtises. Why can't I draw a circle right now? Why can't I trace a circle? So I leave Dr. Peter, go jam his fingers into somebody else's face. I go see Wendy, who, if I haven't mentioned, has a delightful British accent, which, I can tell she's like, all right, well, thanks. Like, go sit down now. Like, when I don't want to, I just want to listen to you talk. Just say anything. I just listen to you answer the phone. Oh, Wendy. Don't make me make weird Peter Pan references that I don't know or remember. Definitely not a movie that I watched enough of to have burned into my mind. I'm fairly sure Wendy is the girl from Peter Pan. I could be totally wrong. So anyway, I go out and there's Wendy, and I want to say Nancy. I can't quite remember the other name. And same deal. Like, it was like, oh, another great day, another great job at Curtis. Like, I didn't do anything. All I do is sit quietly, and I don't cause trouble. I don't bother nobody. I mean, here comes your mother with those two little guys, and dry your eye, and something about gin and juice. I'm just laid back with my mind on my money, and my money on my mind. Miss Wendy, you think you're happy enough thought to fly? So I was just like, no, but seriously, like, you guys, this is like the fourth time I've been here, third time I've been here. You know, the doctor seems genuinely like, well, that's it. That's all the procedures we have to do other than cleanings, and that's what the hygienist does. So I'm basically not even going to see you anymore. Like, gonna miss you, best patient ever. Like, wow. Like, if it wasn't COVID times, we almost definitely would have hugged. I think. Like goodbye. We'll miss each other. Here's my YouTube channel. Hopefully you watch it, and I'll talk at you through the TV. But generally, like, I've never thought, like, I want to go visit the dentist, but I've thought, you know, absolutely, I should pick up a cake and drop it off at the dentist office for everybody. And yeah, I know, a cake's the worst idea for a dentist office, because, you know, the sugar and whatnot, but they're still people. They just brush their teeth more than everybody else. Not more than I have in the last 24 or 48 hours. So yeah, hey, what's the deal, guys? Why do you keep acting like I'm a magical dentistry patient unicorn? Like, what's everybody else do? Is everybody else? Oh, let me say it for you, so you can just kind of nod or, you know, just signify, because you don't want to say, oh, by the way, patients are crazy people, because I already know that they are. But the times I've been there, everything seems relatively quiet. But yeah, like, so that was it. It was like, oh yeah, no, like, you come in, you seem accepting of things, you don't fight anything. When we tell you it costs money, you're not surprised that it costs money, and then you pay it without, like, trying to bargain in some way. I'm adding and paraphrasing things, so if anybody is local and knows, Wendy didn't say a lot of this. I'm making it up. make myself seem more amazing. But mostly, yeah, we're just like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like, I have friends who work in industries where they must deal with people, and it is always unbearable because people just flip out for no reason. So that's when I told them, oh yeah, because on my way here, I'm starving right now. I am starving. I'm so hungry. But before I do anything, I have a very hard time like eating before a thing, no matter what it is. And then I'm just like, I'll just wait till afterwards, and then I'll eat then, cause too nervous that I'll be late, or I'll, I don't know, be farty, or have a bunch of food in my mouth. But this time I was like, no deal. I'm gonna run to Tim Hortons real fast. I'm gonna get a breakfast sandwich. I had a hankering for a chocolate dipped donut, real bad. And I'm like, I'm gonna get that. What did I? How did I? Not on. All right, that was weird. Um, I was like, it's fine, it's fine. Who cares? He's just tearing a tooth out anyway, and I'm just too hungry to care anymore. I'll still, brush my teeth. I'll still do everything I can to make sure it's not gross when I get there. Plus, they make you Javex out your mouth, when before anything. So, I was like, well, I have no time. I have zero time. Just enough time, a little more than enough time to get to Tim Hortons and down to the dentist office. I walk into Tim Hortons. Actually, I'm waiting outside the door for like maybe a minute or two while people step in a little bit, and as you slowly make your way through, everybody can't crowd into the stores anymore. So I'm outside waiting. Everything seems fine. Everything's cool. Finally make my way in the store, and I'm in for, I don't know, 3.5 seconds. And this dude is fully just like, arm extended as hard as he can, other arm just like, everyone's getting the finger. Everyone's. Hey, did you guys see that Tuesday live stream by that weirdo who draws things? How it was like about his cat giving everybody the finger, and how when he goes for a walk, there's always somebody giving somebody the finger on the street, and then somebody else being like, what? Or I'm the one just being like, why did that just happen? Why is everybody just flipping everybody off and telling everybody to F off from the cars? So many scrubs yelling from passenger sides. So this dude is fully doing that, just screaming at the people behind the counter who are already just like, yeah, like we see this 1,000 times a day. I'm just gonna keep making other people's stuff because if we took the time to deal with each one of you maniacs, that would be our entire job, and we don't have time for that. It's kind of a fast food industry in here. There's a line of people clearly trying to get to work or a dental procedure. So he's like kind of milling about, like still kind of refusing to leave, but backing out, still yelling at everybody about how, it's, who do you think you are? And it's like, signs are posted, sir. This is, going on for a while. This shouldn't be any surprise to everybody. Anyway, he's like, you guys aren't even paying attention to me. Like, bah! And he starts to come out as he's making his way towards me and the door. There's a lady like is just coming in through the double door, so she's still on the other side. There's glass door, little area, whatever, boot area, porch, if you will, and then another set of glass doors. And she doesn't know anything that's going on. Dude gets the door. He's still just like flashing everybody the finger and yelling something. And this is like, inches away from me, and I'm just looking as if like, am I supposed to punch this guy? I feel like this is one of those instances, like at the end of an 80s movie, where Bruce Willis's wife is like, you, Packer, or Pecker, or whatever his name was. I think I'm thinking of the guy from Ghostbusters, but I think both of them get punched in the face at the end of the movie, and I'm just like, am I supposed to be Bruce Willis's wife right now? I feel like I'm supposed to punch this guy. Definitely would not have gotten away with it. I would have been fully murdered. Like 100% murdered by this guy. He clearly was, muscular, 17 times more muscular than I've ever been. Um, and just like a big dude who clearly was like, "You're definitely going out to your truck. That's, pristine clean. You don't haul things. You're just a dude who probably works out, maybe takes some steroids. I don't know, but you're volatile, and there's no need for it. Um, I'm volatile right now, but I'm still just like wicked chill, cause even if I don't get a sandwich right now, it's not a big deal. I'll eat something eventually. Um, but yeah, the real thing was just like he gets into the double doors, and I'm pretty sure like I think the lady was holding the door for him because she didn't quite know what was going on yet, and he basically said something like you don't want to go in there, like they're a bunch of and and yeah, oh, the dream is to pull a full penguin on somebody's face and just be like, at least my nose isn't gushing blood, and then bite down on their nose. Now, there's no way I could ever do that, because the same reasons that the dentist shouldn't be a dentist. It's gross. Um, but yeah, so I assume he said something about whatever those guys are jerks, and it was she was quiet. There was no actiness to their to her reaction, and as near as I can tell, she basically must have said something like, "Oh, they're just doing their job," or "Everyone's trying their best," or "We have to work together." Like she clearly had said something nice and quiet to this guy, and he just right in her face just yelled, "You're an ignorant bitch." So loud, so hard, and then turned and left. And I'm just like, I really want to follow him. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. Like, there's nothing I can do. There's no anything, but I'm just like, oh, I wanna follow him now. I wanna see. I wanna see what kind of vehicle he drives. I wanna see what he yells at next. I don't know. I don't know. And again, I don't know. It's a weird. Some of us have weird vigilante thoughts in our heads. I'm not gonna do anything, but still, it's just like, ugh. The safety of others. This guy needs to be watched for the next few minutes, because he's just gonna run around yelling at people like the guy that grabbed me by the arm to tell me, "Hey, here's a list of people that I've beaten up, and also I want to go fight everybody at Tim Hortons right now because they kicked me out." Like, no, there's no seating anymore. No, it's not fair. I'm 74 years old and I fight everybody. Like, all right, thanks. But yeah, it's always those people that are yelling, you're disrespectful, or you're ignorant." Those are the ones that are just like, this is so disrespectful and ignorant. These people are just doing their job. Um, so, whatever, he took off. I stood there for a few more minutes watching some lady and another lady and a handful of kids just keep changing their mind about which donuts they want out of 1,000 donuts. Like, if you're just getting a big assorted box, then just get a big assorted box and deal with it later. That's how I was raised. You never got the donut you wanted. You were always having to take apart a Boston's cream, scoop out all that disgusting cream while everyone judges you and hates you. Like, that's the best part. No, it's not. It's the worst part. It's disgusting. Disgusting. I hate it. But I love chocolate dips. And man, oh man, if this thing was just a big giant chocolate dip, then that would be great. But no. And once again, I'll wait till I'm old enough to buy my own donuts, and then I'll always have chocolate dips. And when I go over to Space Goonie's house, I'll bring a dozen donuts, and there'll always be a few extra chocolate dips. Why? For me. For me. And yeah, everybody else can have one, but oh my god. It was like, I'm gonna get one? And yeah, maybe I also take Boston creams, I separate them, flip them up, slap them up, flip them, and reverse them so the chocolate is on the inside now and you can eat it like a sandwich. And for once, instead of people going, "What is wrong with you?" I mean, first it was, "What is wrong with you?" And eventually, I think Jill was the first to go, "This is the greatest idea ever. Vindication. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you. And Godspeed, little doodle. Apple fritters and Boston creams. Yeah, I don't know how to share the Boston cream either. That was always a thing, or it's just like you can't get rid of it. It's like having tomato on a sandwich. You can't. There's always going to be Boston cream residue. There's always going to be tomato residue. You gotta smash it to pieces and start over. So I waited there. There was a couple in front of me where the dude had just like all of his cash out, like fives upon fives upon fives, and all I can think was just like, you're at Tim Hortons. Are you gonna spend like $90 in cash at Tim Hortons? One, and two, your money's not going anywhere. You're fine. You could just keep it in your pocket. You don't need to keep looking at it. Is this the first day you've ever had a good handful of cash? And also, again, in pandemic times or in any time of the year, decade, whatever catastrophe is going on, don't fondle your money. Money's got all the germs. Money just has all the germs. Nobody's cleaning money. It's just picking up everything as it goes along. And then you're sitting there fondling it in a Tim Hortons right before you're about to eat. Ugh, gross. Yeah, it's definitely an older man thing. And yeah, that's the other too. It was like that was always the thing. It was just like, at least in big cities anyway. Money has all the coke on it. So whatever, I gave up. I was like, well, there's no time now. Like, there's no way this line is ever going to progress. These people are still choosing donuts, and there's a bunch of people in front of me. So I'm just going to go get my tooth ripped out, and I will survive on water for however long it takes before my tooth stops making me think that if I bite down on something, blood everywhere. So that's some cleaned up comic from last week. Still haven't figured out all the words. So jump ahead, and we'll draw something else. Let's go with some long panels. It's been a while. We went with long panels. Beep. Get out of here, Egon and Pac-Man. And get out of here, placeholder text. And rough layer. So it is super hot in here right now. Oh man. So at the heart of all that, last time they took wisdom tooth out of this side, and it was pretty close to a nerve. So for the rest of the day, I was just like, oh, any bit of water, any coldness, any slight breeze, it was just like electric shock through my body. So then I was just paranoid for days. This time, no real complications other than hey, had to really kind of crank that tooth out against the next tooth. So that one's going to be bruised for about a week. But that's fine. It'll heal up no problem. It's just like a normal bruise, except on your tooth. All right, cool. No big deal. So this time I could eat a lot more quickly. It wasn't crazy like electricity. Wasn't like some sort of nearly exposed nerve. But for the past however long it's been, 4 or 5 days, that other tooth that's bruised, it doesn't hurt. I'm just aware of it. It feels like right now, even when I look at the camera, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not swollen out to here. But it feels like I am. It just all day, it feels like my whole face is swollen. It feels like there's a clamp on that tooth. It's just a gentle, very gentle, tiny bit of discomfort. And that tiny bit of discomfort makes me incredibly aware of all of my teeth. And I can't stop focusing on trying not to just clench my teeth, trying not to grind my teeth. And every time there is just a subtle, like, bing of bruisiness from this, my face's instinct is to kind of clamp down. You put pressure on a wound, and that just makes the rest of my mouth feel like, oh, the rest of your teeth are like itchy now. Like, when you have like an itch on your head, but you can't scratch it because it's like inside your skull. Hopefully that's not also a sign of insanity. It's like that, but there's no itch. It is just like I need to feel something else, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'll go floss again. You definitely shouldn't floss 65 times a day. Um, but it's the basically the only thing I can come up with. Just like, this is the closest thing to scratching my teeth slash gums, until it's just like, all right, there's not even ever going to be any blood anymore. Oh, these are the most flossed teeth ever. And I mean, literally, like, hey, what are you doing Friday night? Gonna sit on the couch. I'm gonna watch Taskmaster New Zealand. I hate that I finished all of those. The new season's still going, waiting for the newest episode. But Taskmaster New Zealand is definitely my favorite Taskmaster after the main British Taskmaster. It's the closest one. The other ones, because there's subtitles and everything, I can't keep up with it. But yeah, that one is awesome. And the amount of times, like, one of my favorite things, accent-wise, was the Taskmaster episode with Rose Matafeo, where they were talking about, like, hey, bring in something from a shed was the task, was the prize task, something from a shed. And she was just like, oh, well, in New Zealand, everyone has a poster of fish in their shed. And they're like, sorry now, what's that? Like, what? Shed. In the shed. Shed. She was like, yeah, shed. Shed. She's like, this is like, well, whatever. Thanks for colonizing me, you guys. We didn't need that, and stuff like that. Hilarious stuff. But in Taskmaster New Zealand, there's still a shed. Just like in regular Taskmasters, like, you can go to the shed to find stuff to help you complete tasks. And so many episodes, they are just like, well, I'm going to the shed. Gotta check out the shed. What's in the shed? And man, oh man, that's just music to my ears. Music to my ears. Am I some sort of accentist? I guess, I don't know. It's definitely some sort of weird racism or pejorativeness of some kind. But there's a lot of accents that I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm not even watching like, haha, their accent's funny. I'm just like, just say more things. Like, how you use all the words. It's interesting. And they're all super funny. Like, they're all super funny. Both seasons are amazing. Once I finished the first season, I'm like, I can't even tell. Like, the second season is definitely better, but the first season has some stuff that's just like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Task-wise, or reaction-wise from the contestants. But yeah, so besides that, it's like, hey, Friday night, watching Taskmaster, trying not to fall asleep, eating popsicles, and flossing my teeth. I'm gonna sit here and floss my teeth for, I don't know, 25 minutes, probably. Crazy, psychotic. So yeah, so for the past few days, it is like, even today, I'm just like, can I do a live stream? Because every time I go to open my mouth, I just want to close it forever. And having a mask on, where I'm just like, oh, thank God. It was like, just feels good to have it, like, because this is what it looks like. It's looked exactly like this since Thursday, since it was done. it's fine, but it feels like just it's all mental. It's all in my head. That's just like blood is just dripping down my mouth if I talk too much, or whatever. But it's mostly just this weird awareness of my own teeth that are like, well, they're there all the time, and I have stuff to do. I can't constantly be inspecting each one of my teeth with my tongue, but I am. I can't keep spending 40 minutes just going, all right, just relax your jaw. Just relax your jaw. Just don't clench your teeth. Just relax your jaw. The only way to make this stop throbbing is to stop clenching. Clenching it is what's making it worse, but I need to clench it. And it's, it's against that thing when it's like, whatever, when you have a loose tooth and you keep poking at it, or, a scab that you're just like, I'm just going to keep picking at the scab. So yeah, just a few days of just like I don't feel like doing anything. And then Monday was like, now it's the Monday meeting, and just didn't really think anything until, oh, it's my turn to talk now. And suddenly I'm just like, hey. And in the creative news last week, I'm suddenly very aware that I don't want to talk right now, and this feels uncomfortable and weird. It's been a few days since I've talked, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Again, even now, just very aware of my teeth. Doesn't feel bad. Just the urge to go and floss my teeth is insane right now. Just absolutely insane. But again, doing something, if I could just stop talking about it, takes my mind off it, and that's good because I like went for a few walks and whatnot, and it made things better. The other thing I did manage to do, as I referenced before, was sit down and do some stop motioning. And for that whole time, didn't even think about it. So I was like, all right, so I can do some live streaming. I can do stuff. I did work all day. I got a lot of work done. Um, there's just that thing in the back of my head, just like, am I going crazy? Should I be thinking about my teeth this much? And yeah, I can't play this with the sound because, it will be muted by all the things. So I'll play it without sound, and I'll do my best to remember what it sounds like and how to get to the proper screen. Oh, and that I have it on the computer. There we go. And this so I can see. So I can see. And set up correct. Milo, what are you doing? You look insane. Oh my god. Close enough. Alright, so if you don't know, Jeff Goldblum has like a jazz album or two, which I think I knew about, but forgot. A lot of it is instrumental. It's some other people sing. There's like a duet with him and Sarah Silverman. Um, but yeah, I was like, I saw this action figure, and I'm like, well, I can't not get this action figure. I mean, I can't not. So I did. I'm gonna have to animate it. His joints aren't that great. His head moves very poorly. He's a bit jerky. But I spent way more time on it than I should have. But yeah, there's a bunch of just these weird songs that I don't even know. Um, but this one I grabbed, and it's like, hey there, little man, time to stop your scheming. It's time you should be in bed. The day is time for the day to end. You've had a busy day, or something like that. And I was just like, it's a very quirky song. There's a bunch of other parts to it that I'm like, oh, I should have did these. But I was also kind of experimenting with how to put audio in my stop motion program and see if I can animate with it, which I can't technically, so I still had to do some planning, which I didn't do until halfway through, and then I was like, what am I doing? This is crazy. It's 1,000 degrees right now, and nobody's expecting me to do this. So anyway, it's on my Instagram in the reels with the audio, so you can see it. But basically, hey there, something, little guy, why don't you go to bed? Hey, it's me, Jeff Goldblum. I'm not dead. Hey, I'm petting this velociraptor. And this guy, let me tell you, he's had a busy day. Something like that. So that's something that I did. Back to the normal one. Now, that's fun. That's how I spend my time. I have the need to make those things. Why is that blue line in front of... Oh, for the love of fun, how do I keep ending up on the wrong layer? So the insane thing to me, it's insane, is that still, even though it was kind of a dumb throwaway nonsense thing, not even a project, just again, just feeding the little Curtis inside and his need to make stop motions, you know, since I was a tiny child. The day before that, I saw some seagulls. And I probably can play without worrying about the audio. I saw some seagulls freaking out, just losing their minds. Have a good night, Space Goonie. And they were just like squawking, so I took a quick little video of them and thought, I'm drenched in sweat right now. And thought, oh, I can probably find some Reels audio and throw it in there, or come up with something silly. These seagulls are just going too nuts not to do something with. So I recorded them, and then I just typed in monster sounds, and I was like, oh, and there was a bunch of monster sounds in the Reels thing, so I just threw that in and thought, like, this is dumb. This will get whatever 20 to 100 views, like the rest of my stuff. Focus. Focus. Anyway, you get the idea. So I posted that dumb thing, 12 seconds of monster sounds and birds, and it gets about a little over 1,000 views in like 40 minutes. After about an hour and a half, it tops off at like 11:43 or whatever it's at now. And I'm like, all right, that was crazy. Well, whatever, that's fine. So then I do this Jeff Goldblum stop motion, which cost me money for an action figure. Took the time to set things up. Took the time and patience to frame by frame animate him doing things, thinking about the poses therein, sweating profusely because I did it in this room like an idiot where it's the hottest in the world. Posted that, and it got like 2 views. I'm like, okay. And then like by an hour it had like 12 views, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And what's the count? After hours and hours and hours, and calm down, monsters. Yeah, that one reached 146. Effort animation, hashtag, and at Jeff Goldblum gets 146 views on Reels, and two seagulls squawking with monster sounds, 1,170 views. Within, like, that one's within 2 hours, that one was done adding numbers. The Jeff Goldblum one took until today. It took like 2 days to get up to 146. It was at like 139 this morning, I'm sure. And I'm just like, again, just that thing of like, this is why I can't do Twitter. This is why I can't do TikTok. This is why I'm so confused all the time. I don't know how to do things that get views. I just really don't. It just boggles my mind. I'll do cool stuff for people at my job, and they're like, oh my god, this is the greatest. This is getting me so many views. Wow. How does that work? How can I do that with just the thing that I did? Like, oh no, you can't. You can't. You can't. Be something famous first, and then people will give a couple shits about the other stuff that you do. But whatever. Either way, I had fun making a dumb seagull thing. I had fun making a dumb Jeff Goldblum thing. So, jokes at everybody who didn't watch it. I still watched it 17 times. I watched this 700 times. I'm sure I meant that to segue into something at some point in time, but I've forgotten what all the things were. Birds versus stop motion Jeff Goldblum. I'm sick of everybody. Guy Tim Hortons. Check. Oh yeah, I posted this. I saw this, and I threw it in my stories. I guess it's technically a meme, but somebody's just like, hey, I can't stop thinking about this shopping cart theory, this shopping cart conundrum thing, and I was just like, huh. I feel like I've had this conversation with somebody before, but yeah, that makes total sense. Shopping carts are the greatest example of it's something no one is going to get mad at you for not doing. If you don't bring your shopping cart back, like now they've added the cart corral, so you don't even have to go all the way back. People still don't do it. But like I've definitely in my life, like as a kid, grown up, and in between, had people just be like, "What are you doing?" And if there's other carts on the way, I grab a bunch of carts. If they're all askew in the thing, I organize the carts. Wherever I am, I clean up this place because when I was a kid, you know, I was basically taught like, oh, come on, buddy. Like my dad was always like, oh, buddy, do you see that over there? Like you're not gonna pick that up? Like, oh, didn't realize that I was supposed to. Like, yeah, okay. Oh, buddy, what about that thing? Like somebody could trip on that. Somebody should this. And it's like, holy snaps! Like I didn't realize everything was my responsibility. And now that I'm my age, I realize if everybody thought at least most things were their responsibility, then at least everybody would be taking some responsibility for everything, and then we wouldn't be tear gassing homeless people trying to live in a field. Because that's the thing that happened here in Nova Scotia this week. I once spent 6 months, Pat Prue says, making an animated student film, entered into a film festival, got followed around by a camera crew from the news. Most everyone in the competition thought I would win. Since everything else was live action, I lost to a sixth grader with a camcorder, kittens, playing on a chair, edited on Microsoft Video. Oh yeah. Don't even get me started. The amount of things on the internet that I want to complain about that are just like, nope. This is beyond unacceptable as entertainment, and it's, you know, just exactly that. Like this is kittens on a stool is what this is, and I'm over here breaking my ass open trying to make something, and it doesn't matter because there's always going to be one of those, and every once in a while I've tried to be one of those. I can't remember, like, one of the last film festival-y type things that I was like, oh yeah, cool, I'm going to enter this, like, mostly because I know I'm going to win. I'm definitely going to win this, because as far as I can tell, everybody else who entered it is terrible, and they're not entering anything good. and I'm a professional. I'm not even going to experiment, and I'm going to do something where it's like I'm going to mix myself, live action, getting pushed around by an animated thing. Excuse me. And then in the end, yeah, it was like, oh yeah, like some dumb kid won for their dumb thing. And I'm like, well then, if that was an option, like somebody should have said, oh, by the way, if some dumb childish thing by an idiot does it, we're probably going to give it to them, then tell me. So I will not bother. Because if it's not being judged based on entertainment value or, animation judgment, like then yeah, I can't win based on the whims of some, moms and dads that are judging, that are like, oh, this reminds me of my son who never amounted to everything. Imagine if he did this. And that's mostly why I don't enter competitions anymore. And yes, like that's why, I don't know, sometimes I just try to, like, that's what this comic is supposed to be. This comic is supposed to be sloppy and unprofessional looking. I'm not trying to do it like I know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make some dumb things because it's like, huh? Huh? I can do things that aren't good as well. Check me out. Doing things that aren't that great. My stop motion, definitely not that great. I watched 7 other stop motions that were 100 times better just today alone. And, so it's not even just like, I don't think it looks professional at all. But just don't know. Just don't know. Still that same feeling as when I was a kid and I'd show my mom, and when I was adult and I'd show my mom, this is the thing that I did, and she's like, well, I'm glad you're happy. Okay. Good thing I'm not into cutting myself, cause I would. Oh my god. Trying my best. Trying my best. I was definitely went on a tangent that I didn't intend on going down. Oh, okay, all right, okay. It's so hot. All the DJs said, "Damn, I'm gonna rail on 2/3 more things. 2 of them are kind of combined, but yet not. But that's not my fault. That's a Sony, Disney thing." Oh, I don't know why my pen is being weird. Copy. So I think it was I'm pretty sure it was just today. I'm usually a day behind on these things, but the new Spider-Man trailer released. That's how high your voice goes when a Spider-Man trailer gets released. Yeah. For the longest time, for a while, for so long, I've been like, just in my head thinking, I don't care about the MCU. I'm sick and I'm tired of the MCU. Oh, again with the MCU. Now what do you do at MCU? And all the MCU, I'm sure it's still great. I'm pretty sure it is. I haven't watched any of the new stuff since Endgame. And I realized today why. I never had any inkling. I never had any sort of hint just tugging at my brain to say, there's a chance. There's a chance that Spider-Man might show up in one of these other Marvel properties. Because I realized I don't care about any of these people except the Spider-Man at this point. Even like Civil War. I hated Civil War. I've watched it a bunch of times, but mostly I just watched the Spider-Man sequence, and the rest of it I'm just like, this movie's stupid. Oh my god. And, it's a lot of it's my fault because I read those books, and they're amazing. And Doctor Strange is a very big part of them. and he doesn't exist yet in the Civil War universe. Um, so I just didn't care. It was just, oh, there was so much Spider-Man and Doctor Strange in my Civil War, but that movie was just, hey, me, Tony Stark. Oh, hey, it's me, Captain America. Let's have misunderstandings. Okay, yeah. Like, Civil War wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a war of ideals of the superhero population. Just fighting against it. And that one is just boiled down to, like, no, you killed my family. No, you killed my family. You're all very well aware that this guy was. Doesn't matter. Spider Man is what brought me back into the MCU, and lack of Spider Man is what made me not really care that much to watch Loki. I'm sure it's great. I'm not giving Disney any money to watch their shows. Hey Disney, send me some money. Send me the shows. Give me a show and some money. I don't know how anything works. Treat me nice, Disney. Treat me nice. Um, but yeah, hit play on the trailer. I thought it was leaked, but then they did release it. So I guess I watched the leaked one. It was everywhere, so they clearly don't care anymore. But yeah, it was like 2 minutes long. So as soon as it started, I was like, oh no, don't watch all of this. Just just hit play and then hit stop. Just don't even hit play. Why are you hitting play? Just having this argument in my head. I'm just like, you already know you want to watch it. Just don't even watch any of this. Don't spoil any of this for yourself. Every frame of this is going to ruin a chunk of watching the movie for you. You can't forget about all of this by the time the movie comes out. So I hit play though, and I was like, oh, maybe this is one of those trailers that won't show anything. Um, and it showed just enough to me. I think that I'm like, oh my god, I know the whole movie now. Like I already know way too much about what's going to happen in this movie, and I absolutely regretted watching more than the first few frames of it, just to see like, yep, looks good. Spider-Man looks good. Everyone looks like they're doing a good job. Great. Um, so yeah, I think it looks great. I don't even want to say anything about it, just to try not to remind myself anything of it. It's definitely going to be crazy. Uh, I don't know. I do enjoy the dynamic that is Doctor Strange and Peter Parker. I think that's awesome. So to see that again, excited for. And then a bunch of other crazy multiverse nonsense. I'm sure it's going to be a 90-minute or 90-minute a 90-hour movie, and okay with that as well. But then everything everywhere on the internet now, from Instagram to YouTube to Facebook to just anything and everywhere, is just like, hey, now let's point out everything you didn't maybe notice completely in that trailer, and we'll extrapolate on it so surgically that we all should have been dentists. Like, no! No, oh my god, no! Why? Why are you insisting so hard on digging so deep? Just wait for the movie. Just be excited. Just other thing. Oh my god. Like that was more than enough for me. Like so much more than enough. When I forget which one it was. If it was The Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises, I remember just being like, all right, that's all I need to see. Like when I was in the theater, I would literally just close my eyes and try not to listen. All I knew about one of those movies was Batman drove on some kind of bat cycle, up some kind of ramp. That's all I really saw. And I refused as best I could to see anything more. I'm like, nope, everything's gonna be fresh when I see it. And it, for the most part, was. Now that I've seen way too much of No Way Home, um, the adventure begins again from now until December. Just avoiding anything about Spider-Man, because everybody wants to reveal everything about Spider-Man. But that'll be awesome. Michael Keaton in my two favorite superhero movies. Michael Keaton fully revealed that he's in The Flash and in Far From Home. No Way Home. And then the other Spider-Man related thought is there's a new Venom. Venom 2 is coming out. I believe I watched the trailer for Venom 2. And we kind of talked about it before, but I keep thinking like, oh, I should watch Venom 1. It's definitely got some good stuff in it for sure. But then I thought to myself, well, Venom 2 is Venom versus Carnage, and Venom 1 is Venom versus a bunch of Venoms that are the same color as him. So if they're going to be basically the same movie, I might as well wait for the second one so I can at least see the difference between Venom and Carnage instead of just watching this other one where it's like, hey, it's Venom, a character you don't really know, and a bunch of other Venoms that are characters you don't really know. And also, I guess Eddie Brock is hilarious now? I don't understand. But who knows? It might be one of those Guardians of the Galaxy type movies where it was like, I don't care about this. You can't ruin it for me. That'll be like, hey, check it out. This Venom was actually pretty fun. But I'm pretty lazy when it comes to watching movies sometimes. But that was my Venom thought was, you guys already did a Venom versus Venom movie. But, that's what Hollywood's like nowadays. It's all about the doing the thing we already did movie. And lastly, the last thing I want to mention before I melt to death and fall down and pass out um, is when I was out walking the other day. This Jeep drove by. This Jeep drove by, in classic Jeep form with like no doors on the side, which I've never been cool with. Like I had a friend who's like, like, hey, Uncle so and so's here, or I'm, whoever it is, or my uncle, I don't know who it was, had a Jeep with the no doors on, and it was like, who wants to go for a ride the Jeep? Like, no, no, like you're a little kid, you should be excited about going for a ride in the Jeep. No, there's no doors on that thing. We're gonna fall out. Everybody on this island seems to drink and drive, and now there's no doors, no deals. That's what I'm saying. No deals. And I refused. And I don't know if I've ever been in a Jeep. Actually, no, I have. My brother's Jeep. And he was driving, like, vertically up hills and stuff. And that was terrifying. But also quite amazing. So, I'm walking down the street. And this Jeep is coming towards me. And this kid is fully just like hanging out the side, like just like from, I'm sure he's got a seatbelt or whatever, but like, little kids, they're spindly, they can flop right out of a seatbelt, no problem, if you give them the right angles. But he was just like, look, oh my God, Dad, look, just biggest, most excited, just like, oh my God, just fully incredulous, like, oh my God, do you see what I see? And the best I could figure, the only thing that was there was nothing else there. He was either pointing at, like, look at that house, or look at the mattress that the people in that house threw out and is leaning up against a telephone pole. Like, you gotta make sure to strap your kid in real good, guy, because if he gets this excited over a discarded mattress, oh man, he's gonna definitely hurt himself. He's gonna get you all killed. You gotta get some doors and some hooks. Like, this kid is way too excited about just a dirty old mattress on the side of the street. But mostly I was just very surprised at, like, he seems to be hanging really far out of that Jeep. Jeeps don't seem that big as it is. And, like, wow. How many days have gone by in my life where that sign, have you worried about Jeep doors lately? It's just like, oh, it's been, four 490 days since the last time I thought, well, those Jeeps should have doors. Alright, like I said, I have no idea what this comic strip is about. I'll figure it out later as I clean it up. Some sort of conversation. Didn't figure out what last week's was about yet either. But that's how I make comic strips. I just draw things and I decide what they're saying later, and if need be, I modify those drawings. How many times have I looked at this water and thought, I gotta drink some of this water? And then didn't drink any of that water. 14. 4? Died. The third answer to this? 25. All of the above, I guess. I don't know. So many times. Alright, it's almost 10 o'clock. That's acceptable. Thought I was going to end too early at around 9:30-ish. But that's plenty. Lots of stories. I can't even explain how sweaty I am right now. There's a fan right here. The ice pack is not that icy anymore. Oh, it's not too bad. I have to adjust it. But yeah, other than that, too hot. Too hot. I managed to not spend an hour flipping out about how, roughing up and smashing the tent cities of homeless people doesn't do any good for anybody. Doesn't help them. And jacking up the rent to double what it was forces people to live on the streets. So somebody has to find some sort of middle ground there, and nobody seems to want to, other than the people affected by these terrible decisions by people with money. Ask Serious Rainbow. It's a rainbow and it's serious. Rainbow Dash is who I think you're referencing on your stream. Seventh Dementia memes. Now I'm just going delirious with the heat. So anyway, thanks for hanging out once again. If it's not too ridiculously hot, we'll play some video games on Thursday. And if it is, I'll just stay in bed till next Tuesday, aside from when I'm not doing my job. As per usual, Instagram and Twitter and whatnot and Facebook, they're all at Mr. Cartoons. All the links are at mrcartoons.com. Links to the YouTube is there. Subscribe to the YouTube so I can change the name. That would be delightful. And, yeah, books, shirts, merch, art, all that stuff available within different links at mrcartoons.com. The links are all at the top of the screen. You don't have to go navigating through the page. But I think that's it. I really don't have anything else. Yeah, I don't really have much either. This has been real weird watching you struggle with the heat and also knowing that it feels like you're chewing on cotton balls. That's what it is. Do you know when, just the thought of it makes it even act up, but that weird squishy feeling of like a cotton ball on your teeth that I'm sure we only ever did as small children, but that's what it feels like. There's this weird just extraness of something that I'm just like, oh, there has to be a way to, I don't know. But yeah, just a weird feeling. Probably gonna go floss again. Definitely shouldn't. That's what my hair's doing. Maybe I'll try to get a haircut before next week. Seriously, it's hot. I'm done. Ripley. Yeah, now. Ripley, stop staring at me. Press the end credits. We already thanked everybody. Time to go. Say goodbye to all our company. Good night, everybody. Thanks again. See you next time. Funky friends. Meow, 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 meow.